Hey guys, Mila Buckley, the Hangry Woman here, and today we are talking about what the benefits of seeing a dietitian are and if it's something that you should consider as somebody with diabetes. Before we get started, I am Mila if you're new here, and I have latent autoimmune diabetes in adults, a slow progressing form of type 1 diabetes. I make videos about life with diabetes, stigma, talking about diabetes, recipe videos, everything diabetes, and then also some Nespresso stuff because I love my coffee and my coffee maker. So if you love things like that, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and let's get to the video. So if you have diabetes, you know that there may be some specialists that are really important to diabetes care. And one of those specialists is a dietitian. And a registered dietitian is a really helpful resource for people with diabetes, especially when you're first starting out. I know that when I was first diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, which I have a misdiagnosis story, I found out that I did not have type 2 diabetes, kind of like reversing and going back to that time, one of the first things that my doctor told me was change the way you eat, exercise more, and come back and see me in 3 months. And that was really difficult for me because I was already, I was getting meals that were more on the convenient side, but I was already eating pretty healthy. And so it was difficult for me to figure out what to change, to figure out what to do differently, to be able to balance my blood sugars, especially in the realm of having that newness of having to check my blood sugars after every meal, and that newness of feeling like, where do I go from here? What do I do next? So I asked for a referral to see a registered dietitian and a diabetes educator. We'll talk about a diabetes educator in a later video, but a registered dietitian was probably one of the best, I will say best and worst things that I've done. So I'll tell you the worst part and then I'll tell you the best part. I think in terms of the worst part, I personally saw a dietitian who basically asked me, what do you like to eat? What are the things that fuel you? What is kind of on your plate now? And so when I talked about some of my cultural foods and I talked about how I'm Jamaican and we love rice and plantains, plantain if you are Caribbean, I felt all these feelings kind of shame about my food because she said, well, those things are starchy, they're high in carbs. You want to avoid that. You want to just, push that to the side. What you really want to do is focus on greens and salad and kale and, avocado and things that I already ate and that I already liked. But I wanted somebody to kind of teach me how to manage eating my cultural foods while also balancing my blood sugar. And that's just not what I got in that appointment. And I ended up seeing a different dietitian later on. I'm still searching for kind of my perfect person, because I think it really takes a lot to have a good relationship with a dietitian and somebody who can be honest about your history with and all of that. But I really felt okay, I need help. And so being able to go to the dietitian was actually a great thing, because even though I had that moment of you can't eat your cultural foods, I had a different moment with the same dietitian that was helpful and great. And it was helpful because of the few things I'm going to talk about in this video. And I think that if you are struggling and if you need help in some way, shape, or form with food and figuring out what to eat and figuring out how to eat it and how to kind of structure your meals, a dietitian would be an extremely helpful specialist to you. So I'm going to tell you all of the good things now about why seeing a dietitian was really helpful for me, and why it can be something that you can consider if you have the ability to do it. With a lot of things going online and being more virtual, I think it's easier to find somebody who can be helpful. You just have to figure it out with kind of your insurance and how much you're going to be able to pay and all of that stuff. I will also say there are differences between a dietitian and a nutritionist in the United States. So the person that you're looking for in the United States, and if you're outside the United States, I don't know much, so you'll have to research it. But if you're in the United States, you want to look for somebody who is a registered dietitian. You can find health coaches online, you can find nutritionists online, but you really, really want to look for a registered dietitian. That's going to be somebody who is accredited. It's going to be somebody who has gone through all of the training, has taken the time to be registered in their state as a dietitian. So you want to go to the real deal. So you're always going to look for somebody with like RD behind their name. Typically you can find them at hospitals. You can find them within your doctor's office network. You can ask your doctor for a referral to a registered dietitian that they trust. If you trust your doctor, some people don't trust their doctor. And that's okay. That's a whole nother thing for a whole nother day. But if you trust your doctor's recommendations, ask for that referral. There's always a network of people that your healthcare providers might work with. So it's great to have those people on your side. And yeah, asking for a registered dietitian is not out of the norm, something that people do all the time. So if you want that referral, just ask for it and it can be really helpful to you. Okay, so the good things for me about seeing a dietitian. A dietitian can help you with meal planning, meal structure, and also help you incorporate the foods that you like to have while still balancing your blood sugars. So I think one of the keys to your appointment with your dietitian is honesty. You want to walk in there and be honest. If you don't eat kale and you don't like kale, you need to tell them that. If you love ice cream and you love sweets, you need to tell them that. It's so important to be honest about your likes and dislikes with food because you want to walk out of there with a plan for something that you'll actually do. If not, you're just wasting your time. So that honesty and being forthcoming about what you like to put on your plate, what's your eating pattern? Do you skip breakfast? Do you have breakfast late in the day? Do you typically prefer a sweet breakfast over a savory one? Do you like to have pancakes every day? Do you eat a banana at 4 o'clock every day? Having those things in mind are really important because you can tell your dietitian your preferences and they can help you adjust and they can help you get a better grasp on how to incorporate the foods that you love while also making sure that your blood sugars are balanced. And that is like the most important thing. So have some goals in mind. If you want your blood sugars to stay at like a steady rate and you are just having trouble achieving that, tell that to your dietitian. They can really help you with those struggles. And that's also information that you guys can both track later. So if you notice that you're eating certain things and they're just spiking you like crazy, you can talk to your dietitian about that. And then you have a baseline to be able to go off of to see where you improve and how changing the way that you eat improves your numbers. So like I said before, in all of that, just be honest, be forthcoming, and you can really get that help that you need from your dietitian. I think another important thing is that you'll be getting advice directly tailored to you and not advice just tailored to the masses. There are plenty of articles on the internet that say, go low carb, go keto, go vegan, go vegetarian, don't eat fruit, like all of these things. Like people have all of these things that they tell people with diabetes to do in general, but we don't all work the same way. Our bodies don't all work the same way. We don't all like the same foods. And so seeing a dietitian and, taking that hour, that 30 minutes to an hour with somebody to just talk about your preferences, your likes, your wants, your needs, what your blood sugars are, what you're trying to achieve, all of that can help you establish a game plan that is specifically right for you. So, as much as I would love to go on a raw vegan diet, I just don't think it's for me. I like all types of foods. I like to eat everything. I love to cook. I like to turn on my stove. So that type of lifestyle, though it helps greatly, amazingly in balancing blood sugars, isn't for me. And so my dietitian can find a plan that works for me, find something that I want to do that I can obviously achieve, and then help me from there. And so you're getting that tailored advice. You're getting advice that's specifically meant to work for you. And it's not just blanket advice that you try and that you fail, but that you also can go back and if something isn't working, you can tweak it with them. And that's the best part about working directly with somebody is that, like I said before, you have that baseline, but then you can tweak based on what's working and what's not working. And it's not just like, oh, well, I tried this and it didn't work for me, so I'm not doing it ever again. There's places where you can make things better when they're not working. And so that I think is like one really crucial part of seeing a dietitian. You actually get something that works for you. Dietitians can help you track your progress, and they can also be there for accountability. So one of the great things about seeing a dietitian is that you are accountable to somebody, and not so much in a way where they're watching your every move and they are, you know, stalking what you're doing, but you actually have somebody that you can talk to about what you are doing. And if you have places where you feel like you're not succeeding, or you have places where you feel like, well, this got better, but this didn't, you have somebody to be able to talk to about those things, and it keeps you on track and keeps you accountable so that overall you're reaching the goals that you want to reach and your health is in the place that you want it to be. I think lastly, it's just really nice to be able to have somebody who can help you manage your chronic illness through food advice. And if that's the way that you want to manage, like there are plenty of people who don't want to go on medication, you know, specifically for type 2, you know, who don't want to go on medication, have made a lot of the lifestyle changes and accommodations to balance their blood sugars, maybe want to get off their medication and, you know, manage with just diet and exercise alone. Having a dietitian, you know, if that's your goal and that's what you want to do, you can figure out the pathway to work and to achieve that. So I just love the fact that because it's tailored to you, but also because you have a chronic illness, you have somebody who truly understands what your body is doing and can help you get to the place that you want to be. Okay guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you appreciated the information here, please be sure to give me a thumbs up or subscribe. You can also join my channel as a member for some really great perks, and it's a little bit of a thank you for sharing this information. I also wanted to say that I'm putting some resources about dietitians down in the description box, so you can always read that for, you know, later reading. Save this video for later in case you just want to revisit the benefits of having a dietitian. But that's really it. I'm always so bad at ending these videos, but that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate the time that you spend here and the time that you spend commenting. Let me know below in the comment section if you do see a dietitian and how it has helped or how it hasn't helped. I would love to know what that looks like for you and if it, you know, has helped or hasn't. I think it's always great for people to know. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.